All right, left hand for the more advanced. Most often is open position, which is basically a simplified version of your chord to the octave. What are chords to the octave? There is a video about that in my technique links. This is C chord. I just double. Whatever's at the bottom, I double it. That's chord to the octave. In this case, it's in root position. But I could possibly have, let's say, the F chord, right? That's root position. I could also have it in inversion, which is, this is the inversion of F, A, C, F, and I double the A. That's still chord to the octave. But it's an inversion because the note at the bottom is A, it's not F. The chord is F, the note at the bottom is not F, it's an inversion. And I just double whatever's at the bottom with the top. So that's chord to the octave. And then the next inversion is possible too. Here it is. This is inversion number 2, right? C, F, A. And I double the note that's at the bottom, which happens to be C. Now, if I don't have a lot of time, I can just delete one of these notes. It could be that one I delete, and I just do. That's F chord, even though F is not there. It's going to be in your right hand somewhere. But the original is here. The original is here, actually. This is the inversion of F. And I just double whatever is at the bottom to my thumb. It's F chord to the octave, inversion number 2. Here's inversion number 1, A, C, F. Inversion number 1 of the F chord. I double whatever's here, and that's, because I'm curling my fingers, you can see better, but this is also F chord. And when I'm accompanying and I go back and forth, I can choose whatever motion or one of them. But in this song, I chose this F, inversion number 2, so that my C chord at first, remember me, though I have to say good, and that's all the time I have. I only have 4 beats. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I have to change to G chord. And so for G chord, I choose this inversion, because it's like the same mold of hand, move down. I remember me, don't let it, because you advance, you can switch that G7 chord on bar 7 for an F. Let it back, cry back to G7. For even this is also the same inversion, F inversion, double to the octave. I chose F this time because I have a lot of A in my melody. And this is how I choose the left hand for those who are advanced and already know your chords to the octave pretty well. If your melody is full of F, sounds fuller than, right? Because you're repeating the A. And so it comes with just practicing to choose which inversion fits better your melody. Usually, we try to avoid the notes that's already in the melody. And usually, when you're moving your left hand in open position to a root at the bottom, it emphasizes the a sort of like fuller sound. Like there's a intuitive feeling that you want something to be fuller, like you want to hear that F chord in root instead of a position, like a inversion, which makes it a little bit lighter and passing through. But because the melody here has a big gap, chose the A flat, of course, because that's the note that makes the difference between an F chord and an F minor. If you don't choose the A flat in there in your chord to the octaves, you're missing out. People might mistake it for a F major here, right? So you do have to play the F minor in this position. And then let me scroll. The same G. So I chose to put the C7 chord one bar earlier for the more advanced. I put it in bar 24 because I'm tired of the C for 3 bars. So I keep the C for bar 22 and bar 23, and then bar 24, when the right hand has zero side guitar, I already played a C7, and that's the open position doubled octave. So remember me? Bar 22, C7 here. You hear the difference? If I choose the C in the chord, it sounds empty because the right hand already has C. So I choose instead the A. Open position E minor. Right? Open position A minor. And I just cross over F minor. And then I just go arpeggio, which is basically your G7 chord, and do as many notes as you can. All these notes belong to your G7. And you can take your time there because usually singers wait until there are many different fingerings there for that. So put your stickers. Where's my G7? Here, 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 here. And you might hit some of them, you might skip some of them, and try it out for your fingers. And there are so many different options of fingering there. But you do have the time. If you want that little bass line, then you want to start it on G. And that might be the easiest for some of you. Just open position down here. And then the G7 that you normally would play as a low intermediate. And then one crossover. And if you practice it, open position, G7, and crossover. And eventually you'll be able to do it fast. And then the melody. And of course you want a very, very low bass. So that's for my advanced students. There are many, many ways to do chords. But to do arpeggio, you have to practice that in your technique videos. You can't go from here and switch over smoothly unless you really practice with the hand being somewhat, let's see, side and swing. Yeah. You see how my wrist is kind of smooth? I don't go up and down with my wrist. And that's the technique for arpeggio. Right? feeling your arms going smooth. So when I pass over, I just let go. I let go of the thumb when it's not. Because most of the time you'll be playing arpeggio with the pedal in the song. Let go of the form. So the focus is on having a forearm that feels smooth. Like if somebody was riding up here on your forearm, I guess, next to the wrist, like right below the wrist, that person would have a smooth ride and not be seasick. If you do too much of that, they'll be seasick. Okay, so that is some options for the more advanced, to do arpeggio at the end there for the G7, arpeggio, and that depends on you. And then C also. You can also cheat by going like this. Open position, C chord in inversion for the right hand, same inversion for the left hand. And that's it. So right, left hand, left hand. And that's one way to cheat to end a song. And this would be where you might want it.